Hi everyone, my name is Lucia Ehimika. I am the Director of Data and Innovation at Victory Farms, and I'm here to talk about why we chose ERPNext and our journey so far. We are still very much in progress, so yeah, bear with us. So first of all, just a little bit of background about our company. Victory Farms is a fully integrated tilapia fish farm. We have been in operation since 2015. I joined the company 15 months ago, and I was actually brought in specifically to help with, I'll say, managing our operations because we had a bit of problems going on, which I'm showing on the screen. So right now we have about 800 full-time employees. We have another additional 1,000 what we call casual workers. These are day workers that come in every day. In addition, we have 90 branches across Kenya. We operate 4 logistics centers. We have 2 websites, and of course, all of this is coming from one fish farm. What that meant with me coming in, we had a lot of, I'll say, different tools being used across the companies, and for each department, they had what they used. Nothing was really talking to each other, so there were a lot of silos, and of course, that meant that we were spending a lot of man hours just trying to understand what was going on in our business and stitching together the different information across our operations. Like I mentioned, we're fully vertically integrated. What this means is that we control everything from the eggs with the feed all the way to when the fish actually gets to consumers' plates. So it's almost like operating about 5 businesses in one because we have all these different parts that we need to make sure is working. So just a few of our pain points I listed below. We had issues with data collection, internet issues. We had devices that didn't work properly, a lot of manual updates that needed to be done, lack of historical, lack of historical data, understanding what's going on with our data trends. Our inventory tracking was honestly a mess, and we just needed to get a few things under control here. So why do we choose ERPNext? We actually did go over a few solutions. I hope this is not too confidential. We're having some pricing in here. But a big competitor here in Kenya for ERPNext is Odoo. We did find them to be a little bit more expensive, especially because they cost per user, and us, we are growing pretty rapidly. I mean, the next year I probably will have another like 200 to 500 employees. I couldn't do the per user thing. It was just going to get out of hand. Another big thing for us was customizability. So like I mentioned, we're fully integrated. Our business model is, I'll say, quite unique and very new. There are a whole bunch of things that we need to make sure we understand what's going on. And a lot of ERP systems that we found were very traditionally modeled, where they were like, oh yeah, for this business, they'll need these 5 different modules. And we needed like 20, like all of them, right? Those in different ways. Another big thing for us was having an implementation partner, who was here on ground. I mean, when you go through an ERP implementation, I don't know how many of you guys have done it, but is for sure going to be a lot more work than whatever it is that you anticipated, for sure. A lot more just engagement, you being there trying to, timelines not working out, delays, extra costs coming up. So we know it was super, super important to have something, an engaged implementation partner that was on ground with us and could react appropriately whenever issues came up. So anyway, this was just me putting together a little summary of the different things that we looked at and how we essentially chose ERPNext as the #1 solution. Things that really stood out for us was the affordable pricing that was huge, and then of course the customizability, which I mentioned before. Okay, so this is just a summarized look of the different modules that we do have at Victory Farms, and we are currently working towards. We ended up phasing out our different modules because, like I said, it's a huge project. And this is sort of how it turned out. Our phase 1 with our POS, so we actually do use POS Awesome. Loved all the questions about that, and I can give you a lot more information as a user. But our POS and our inventory management is probably some of our biggest undertakings. It's essentially our entire business. Like I said, we have 90 stores across Kenya. Right now, we do about 100 transactions per minute, and that's going to probably get much, much more as we keep on scaling up. So we have to, yeah, it's a big thing. And then, of course, our inventory management, we're moving Tons of fish. We do about 12,000 metric tons a year. So that's a lot of fish. And we have to know where all of our fish is. It's a cold supply chain, so we have to know where they are, times, and temperatures. So this is also a very big part of our business. Yeah, so I don't know if there are any questions yet about this so far. Cool. Okay, so this is a sample of what our ERP implementation plan looks like for each module. So essentially you can think about doing a project over and over again. You're essentially just redoing what it is that you have done per module. For the most part, it should take about 8 weeks. So we did about 2 months. Someone's phone up here. We did about 2 months per module. I will say this is definitely just a guideline. I don't think we have done a single module in 2 months. A lot of them have taken a lot longer. I'll say one of the most important parts of the implementation plan, now that I've gone through it a few times, is the documentation of business processes. Again and again and again, that will take you back if you don't do it the right way. You're gonna spend so many months and delays and man hours just going back if you don't get that correct the first time. Okay, and this is just an example of some of a workflow that we put together for stock management of the LCs, the logistics centers, 2 branches. So really trying to be as specific, as detailed as possible, as granular, that's the word I'm looking for, when you're putting together those processes, because each of these boxes are gonna be essentially a whole process flow in itself that you have to build out within your module. So it's very important to try and capture as much as possible. Okay, and then this is a little bit more of a detailed plan with timelines around how we are rolling out our module. We have about 15 months that we estimated for this project. We will see how we land with that. So far, we are about 7 months in. Yeah, so there are lots of learnings with that so far. Okay, so the learning so far as we continue to go through our ERP rollout. So number 1 is with your ERP core team and resourcing for your ERP project. This is probably one of the most important parts of setting up the entire project. Like I said, it's gonna be so much more involved than whatever it is that you anticipate. So definitely put a lot of time and effort into picking that your core team, knowing that they are going to stay with the project at least as long as possible. So you're really looking for continuity because this is a marathon, not a sprint. Executive sponsorship. So again, being very communicative with your leadership about the entire project, trying to help them understand what ERP is, the benefits, and literally keeping them up to date as you go month by month or module by module. Because people start to lose motivation, they start to question, is this worth it? I mean, money is really being sunk in here. So yeah, you have to bring your executive team along. Implementation partner, like I said, is very important to have someone who is on ground. I know that there are a lot of, I'll say, remote services and people that will offer you things online. Not to say that they are bad, but I have seen that being in person is a huge advantage. I'll just put it that way. Development support. There are going to be a lot of things that you would want to add. I know Mucha is smiling at me. This is always a tension between us. You are going to want to customize. There's going to be things in your business that you're going to want to have to work a certain way. For me, I do not believe in essentially changing your processes to fit the tool that you have. That doesn't make any sense. Like, tools are built for you to be able to do your business, right? So yeah, the tool changes. You bend to us what it is that we need for our business. Another one is, so customizations. I just talked a little bit about that, but yeah, you are gonna need to do some. I don't care what business it is that you have, you will need to do some customizations. Performance. So this is actually probably one of my biggest, I'll say, challenges when it comes to ERPNext, just because of the scale at which we are at. We have seen some performance issues, especially we're using POS Awesome with our real-time invoices coming in. Yeah, we do feel it. So we are planning on moving to higher memory, higher CPU, dedicated servers. We're just trying to make things as clean for just us as possible, so we have all of the power that we need to push forward. Implementation and UAT testing. UAT testing has probably been one of our biggest time wasters. A lot of delays. You test stuff, you find things are not working. Users that said that they wanted things one way, they see things when they're actually built, and they're like, I kind of changed my mind. And then you go back again. So yeah, this is probably something that you can give at least double the time of what you thought it was going to be for all your time in UAT testing. And then rollout and user training. This is also something that was very surprising to us. So when we first started, because we started with our POS systems and inventory management, so we were like, oh yeah, within 6 weeks we should be able to roll this out once it's built. It ended up taking us more like 6 months, training people and getting them to use the new systems the correct way. Yeah, that's going to be definitely a hassle, I think, at any company. And then related to that is adoption and usage. So again, getting people to use these new systems the correct way that they need to, having the control in place to make sure they're using it the right way. It was definitely a learning. Okay, and that's it.